Welcome back, everyone, to yet another Off the Shelf. And this time, we're back off my shelf. It's been a while.
For them, definitely.
Yeah, we've had a whole string of your shelf books, because we had Lucifer and the Biscuit Hammer, and we had Strange Fake, and we had Tsukahime.
I don't know if it went in that order, though.
No, there might have been something. I think there was a Villainesses Were Destined to Die or something in the middle.
It's hard to tell, because we've had a bit of a weird recording schedule.
Yeah, but still. Anyways, so today, as you may have seen by the title, I don't have Volume 1 in paper, so I'm just going to hold up Volume 5 as a placeholder, but it's Itsuwaribito, right? You read this online. I read this online. I do need to buy new copies of the first 4 books. I just haven't. I've been lazy. I meant to get them used, and I haven't. But so I read this story a while ago. I think when I first read this story, I was reading it online, and only the first 3 or 4 volumes were out. And I want to say I read it up to volume 19 or something. There's 20 something, and it is a completed series. And I really enjoy it. I think that it's got a pretty interesting premise, and I like the characters. Obviously, I'm a lot further than you are. And I did only have you read 1 volume. Mostly because I just feel like the first volume is actually a pretty good kind of collection of stuff happening. I think it's pretty good at establishing our characters like Utsuho and the little tanuki and stuff. This has not been made into an anime, which pains me deep inside.
Really? I wouldn't have guessed. I thought I've heard of it, so.
It
probably hasn't. You're probably right.
I don't think it's been made into an anime because I'm a big fan of this and I feel like I would have remembered, but maybe I missed it. Like that fucking Otome Yokai Zakuro that I'm gonna make you read at some point. No. So it hasn't. Okay. It is 23 volumes, and it was published in Weekly Shonen Sunday. It's a shonen adventure comedy. So basically, how did you feel about it? You know what? Let's get into that, because this is a little different from anything else I've had you read.
It's interesting. I'm not that impressed by it. It wasn't bad. It wasn't boring, but it had some really fun moments. Mm-hmm. But as I'm reading, I'm like, this is a 20-somewhat odd volume shonen series. Mm-hmm. I don't know how it can take this premise that long. Yeah. It felt like a short story. Yeah, I mean,
it would work well as a short story. I will say, obviously, I've read further. In my experience, I do enjoy this as a series. I think that they do some really good things with it. Actually, you know what? We've got a peeper. Vorn. Itsuwaribito. You've read this. Yeah, you've read this. The Liar? Yeah, how do you feel about it? Vorn likes this. Yeah. And I know Vorn's read it because I gave him the first 3 volumes as a gift once. Or something like that.
Yeah, very hard to find the rest.
Barnes & Nobles. Or at least it was published there.
During the time you gave me it.
It was published there at the time that I gave it to you because I bought copies for myself and for you. And I remember I lent mine out to a friend and never got them back. I don't even remember who I lent them out to. But it was one of my friends. They may not be carrying it in store anymore. You might still be able to find it online, though, and you could probably order it off Amazon. Yeah. I hope it's not gone out of print, although I will say it was a while ago. I mean, I could be... I could be wrong. It was a while ago when I bought them, so... my copies have yellowed slightly already. I think
it's an older manga thing.
Yeah, I must have bought it... I must have bought it back at the beginning, near the beginning of high school. Sophomore or junior year. Had to have been. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I enjoyed, the lying games that you see were pretty...
They're fun.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think that, the premise of just, 2 people lying to one another until somebody wins would be as fun as it is, but it's quite amusing.
It's just not, there are series that go on that long where I'm like, okay, I could see how this is going on. It's hard for me to see this going on that long or maintaining its charm all the way through.
That's fair. I think this is one series that I will show you a little bit more. This will return on the channel. More because I want to see if I show you a few more and then maybe you can understand how they have it go on for so long. I will say, though, the arcs inside of this are actually relatively long, and there's relatively few arcs, which is interesting. Instead of having a ton of little mini arcs, like was in the first book, which was a really small, kind of contained story, there are longer, more involved stories.
For Shonen series, I'm pretty sure this is around the size of Demon Slayer, if it's only about 20-some-odd volumes.
23 total.
Yeah.
So Demon Slayer's longer, I think.
That would make sense.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not a super long series. I mean, it's for a shonen, it's not super long.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you've got the characters like Utsuho is our main character, and basically they got into his backstory in book 1, right? We know why he lies. Okay, sometimes I have to double check because I read more than just the first volume. So basically, what happens is, as a child, right? He was living in this like orphan village sort of thing, and he told the truth to a bunch of marauders who asked about stuff. And as a result, his entire village was slaughtered, right? And he kind of swore he was never going to tell the truth again, but he was going to use like lies for good, kind of. And so that's basically what the premise is he goes around getting into these lying contests, but he's kind of doing good through them. Mm-hmm.
I thought it was his clan, not his village, got massacred.
Clan, village.
Everybody he knows and cares about.
Yeah. In a very bloody and gory, like, man steps into a room that's just like a puddle of blood.
I did appreciate it, it wasn't his grandfather, but the old man that was taking care of him, that he was like, the old man asked if all the children of the village were okay, and he lied through his teeth so the old man would die peacefully.
Yeah, that was very sweet of him.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's kind of that's where he learns what he considers to be the good thing about lying, right? Because with lying, you can protect people and save people. And then you meet the Tanuki, who is a recurring character. We love Mr. Tanuki. Well, is it Pochi? His name's Pochi, right?
I don't remember.
It's Pachi, right? God, I want to say it's Pachi, but maybe I was wrong. Monks. It is Pachi? Okay. Yeah, monks. It was a village of monks, so he was being raised. So it was like orphan. Like monks raising a village of orphans. Yeah. I think it's a pretty interesting story. I think it's gorier than I expected a shonen to be. When I bought it, it was gorier than I thought it was going to be. And I really love the art of it. Like, I think it's, like, beautifully drawn. I enjoy the way that it's drawn.
It's well done.
Yeah. And so, obviously, I'm a fan. I did keep reading it even though I didn't keep collecting it. So I'll be excited to see more on the channel, and I can see why you would think this would work as a short story, but not as a long one based off the first volume.
I think a huge part of that is I think the lying games got a little bit, not repetitive, but they didn't hit as hard as time went on. Like, each one after the initial, like, grandfather lie felt more and more kind of like, okay.
Yeah, like, we get it. He's lying.
You're a liar.
Yeah, and that's the whole point of it. But I think it's an interesting series, and I do recommend that people check it out, because it's not exactly what you would expect from a shonen.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. This is not what came to mind when I, like, thought when I bought it. You know?
It's more wordy than most shonen.
Yeah, it's
wordy in the not in the middle of battle calling out our special moves way.
No, wordy in the he's literally outsmarting people with words, which is impressive for a shonen protagonist. That happens so very rarely. Normally it's just, Uzumaki punch or some shit. Detroit smash. Yeah, he's real wordy in the middle of fights. It just doesn't mean anything. So I don't know. I don't know if you have anything more to say. I love this series. Oh, Vorn has something.
You stay for the journey, not for the games and the lies.
Yeah, you stay for the story going on in the background and the journey that's happening, not for the lying games. The lying games are interesting, but they're mainly the hook to get you onto the story. Which you didn't, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like it didn't kick in very highly.
Yeah, because the first book is just like meet your characters.
There are one-offs in the first book mostly.
Yeah, it doesn't stay like that. You get into some pretty decent arcs later on. Yeah. All right, so we'll be back next time with whatever our next video and/or off the shelf is.
I don't know it off the top of my head.
I don't either. Like, comment, subscribe.